I just chopped this barn find Triumph for one of the coolest races in the country, the Biltwell 100. I only had a few weeks to do the build, then I had surgery, and now I'm going to drive my family across the country to go and see what this race is like. I hope it's not a big waste of money and that I didn't waste a mint Triumph Scrambler on this whole project. Let's see how it goes. This bike had been sitting in a hangar for years, had very few miles on it, and was virtually untouched. I bought it because it was a smoking deal, and then I instantly decided that I needed to customize it to race. I've seen the Biltwell 100 before, and it's always looked so fun, so the fact that I got into it was extremely exciting to me, but I was also very nervous because I didn't want to waste all this money and waste this awesome bike if I was going to end up ruining the bike or just not having the race be as fun as I thought it was. So if you haven't seen already, I've done a series on the build and the test rides. You can go back in that playlist and find those. But I am super excited to get out to California and get some rays and get some seat time on this thing and just see all of the rad bikes that show up for this race. Let's get out of this snow and let's head out to the Mojave. Showing up to the race, we just didn't really even know where to park or where the pits were. It was pretty late at night, but getting set up this morning, I'm super stoked. We're right at the end of the pit lane, which should be a good spot, and the new camper's doing good, so we're pumped to be here. Our friends Josh and Jacqueline are coming up to the race to meet my family and to hang out, and Josh is going to be helping in the pits. He's from Southern Utah originally, both of them are, but they live out in Southern California now, and Josh often brings his Husky to Southern Utah to ride with us, and so it'll be really fun to be able to meet them out there and see what this race is like. All in all, the bike turned out quite well. When I was test riding it, everything worked really well, so I'm excited to see where we stack up. It's definitely cool to see all these rad bikes. There's no other place where you can see a brand new Pan America set under the same racing pit as a pole start bike, and I just think it's awesome. There's so many cool vintage bikes. There's a lot of cool builders that I've always looked up to that are here racing. It's awesome to see, and I am just so pumped. There was a delay in the start of the race. I believe that someone not involved with the race was having either bike trouble or they had an accident on our course, so they were just getting that cleared. It took like 45 minutes for us to actually get going, which was plenty long for the pre-race nerves to come up, and then you get like some adrenaline and you get all warmed up, and then you sit there forever, and so it all kind of goes away, and then you're like hot and groggy by the time you're ready to start the race, which is always a goofy situation. Like an idiot, I somehow deleted all of the following laps of the race, so I only have POV for the first lap. It gives you a good idea of what it's like, and I'll post a full raw video so you can see the entire lap in case you're interested in racing this race. But as far as how things went for the race, the first lap, both my front and rear suspension was way too soft. When I was testing in the rocks and in the hills, and it felt pretty good there, but I did not test at as high of speeds as what we're doing at the race, and I also didn't test in a place where there was very many whoops, and the bike seriously suffered that first lap from me bottoming out the suspension front and back over and over. Coming into the first pit, I really wanted to firm up the suspension, so I asked Josh to help with the fuel. Carla was getting my Camelback and my electrolytes and stuff going, and I immediately started working on the rear shocks to increase the preload. So I did that, and I think in my head I was thinking that I asked Josh to help with the front preload, but I completely spaced it. I just jumped on the bike, ripped out of the pits, and first whoop I hit in the start straight, I realized, holy crap, I'm an idiot. I didn't touch the front end. So the whole second lap, I'm just like stink bugging through the whoops. Rear end feels pretty firm and pretty solid, and the front is just bottoming out even worse now because I didn't even touch the front when I increased the preload on the rear to the max setting. All in all though, second lap, I hauled through it. First lap, you could see I made a ton of passes and was really fun. Second lap, I still making passes, but I started to see more of the dual sport bikes and more of the electric class bikes coming through to pass me, where they were probably starting their third lap. And I just tried to take the second lap easy, knowing that I whole shotted my class and knowing that the way to win this race at this point was to get the bike to the finish. Coming into the pits for the second time, I was smart enough to start first on the preload of the fork. We got that cranked all the way down, topped off the fuel. Carla gave me more water, and I did a mix of carbs and salt in the water, and I was feeling really strong still. Started the third lap, I started to feel more tired, but the bike felt better than it ever had. It was running really strong and everything was feeling really good. One issue that I had in the third lap was I came up on a point where some guys had kind of crashed, and I decided to go around them, and I took a little 2-track trail that went around them, and that 2-track trail didn't go right back to them. It went like up this little valley. So then I stopped. I took the world's longest pee because I had been drinking tons of water. I think I'd probably drank like 4 liters by now, and I had to pee so bad. So I stopped, peed, and then it took me a second to get going again. Then just right after that, I took a wrong turn. I just missed a flag, got on the wrong trail. About 200 yards down the trail, I realized I was in the wrong spot because I was seeing other racers go along this ridge line, and I just started monster trucking my way over to them. That was probably the most eventful part of the race. Coming towards the end of the race, I was definitely starting to feel the effects of having not been as healthy and having to have surgery just a few weeks prior. Not because like the surgery site was hurting. I had had surgery on my colon, and because of that I was standing up pretty much the entire race, and that's fine. That's better, more aggressive riding position. But trying to keep this big heavy bike up while cruising through the sand it takes a lot more effort than a dirt bike. And so my legs were starting to get pretty dang tired by the end of the race. But I hit mile marker like 22, and when you hit that mile marker, you come up over this big hill and you can see this rise in this area that like you can see the whole valley where the pits are, and I could see like 5 or 6 riders just kind of cruising, and I was like, I've got this. I can totally pass these guys and make a strong finish. So I really turned it on those last few miles, and I passed all of those guys that I could see, ran it into the finish line really strong, and really proud of how I performed. Cool to have Josh and Jacqueline, my wife, and my 3 daughters all right there at the finish line waiting for me. The fact that that they toughed it out while I did the race was really cool. I'm always appreciative. I always think it's cool when my daughters see me race, because they see me do something that's really hard and see me try to put my best effort forward and be competitive. So that's fun. The girls were so pumped that that I got to go through the finish line arch, that they wanted to ride the bike back with me through the pits. So we kind of paraded them through the pits and got tons of honks and cheers from the other competitors as they were riding back to the easy up with me. All in all, I was so pumped on how the bike performed. The soft suspension was totally my fault. I just didn't test it in the conditions that we were racing in. Partly because I didn't know exactly what the race conditions were going to be, but also partly because I just had so little time. So if you're building a bike for the BuiltWell 100, go test it in sand whoops and try to go fast in them, as fast as you dare. Don't just like send it and die, but try to crank it up and see what it's like at more of a race pace. The mods I did on the bike were very helpful. The suspension was good. The air filter system that I did was good. The big wide handlebars were great. The foot pegs were definitely essential. Tires were awesome. Everything turned out good. So I'm probably going to do another video on like the best and worst mods. There was some dumb mods that I did that turned out to not be worthwhile, but we'll save that for another video. All in all, I was super excited about the race. And looking at the live timing and scoring, it appeared that I had the fastest scrambler time. But you just never know with timing and scoring until you get to the awards and things are official. And so we went to the awards ceremony, got to just relax. I loved that BuiltWell did the ceremony so quickly after the race. A lot of times it's like 4 hours after the last person finishes the race, and it's too slow. Most people leave the race before the awards ceremony. Or if you do wait around because you think you did good, then it means that you're just having a late night, and if you bring a family with me like I did, they're miserable waiting. So props to BuiltWell for that. But we get called up for the Scrambler class, and they call me into second place. And I'm like, okay, cool. That's a solid showing for a 2-week bike build and a coming off surgery and no real prep and my first time at the race. I was like, that's cool. But then we get up on the podium, and you can kind of see in the photos here, I look a little confused or annoyed. And part of that is because on the podium, the kid who they called up for first, like grabbed onto us, and he's like, so seriously, none of the Scrambler class finished the race? And me and the third place guy were like, no, we did all the laps. And he's like, what? And we're like, how many laps did you do? And he's like, I crashed out on the first lap. I didn't finish. And we were like, okay. We finished the race. And if I was the second fastest finisher, then that means that I probably won the race. And we're like, are you going to tell him? And the guy just kind of like walked down off the podium, and I was pretty confused at why the kid didn't tell the announcer. But then as I thought about it, I was like, oh, he's totally afraid of the announcer. The announcer had been like, at first he was just kind of roasting people for fun, but then he took it a little too far when he started reaming a Middle Eastern guy for going too fast in the pits, and things got like pretty racist and uncomfortable for pretty much everyone at the race. And then there was a couple of other roasts that were like pretty unnecessary, and he was just pouring on the negativity so much that I think a lot of people are getting pretty tired of that. So I can see why the kid never talked to the MC like in the moment when we were on the podium. But I fully expected him to go and talk to the timing and scoring people and sort out the race. Eventually, I think I did see him go talk to to the event people, but BuiltWell never actually contacted me and changed anything. And one of the course officials did actually talk to me and ask me about the race, and I was like, yeah, I hole shotted, never saw another scrambler the entire race, but still nothing ever came of that. So on paper, I took second. Unofficially, I won that race, and I had a blast, and it was super fun. And so even with that weird timing and scoring mess up, this is still one of the top 3 funnest races I've ever done, just because racing on a bike that you build is extremely satisfying. Racing on a big bike that's not really made to race on is like playing on a whole new playing field. There's a new set of rules. You can't hit the whoops hard, you can't blitz things, you can't jump stuff, you're not running mooses, so you can't smash into rocks. So you're just like being a little more careful, and you're finessing things, and that's really fun to race in a new way. Also, going to the race was like going to a bike show. There's so many cool bikes, so that was awesome. And then not having to pay for camping was a bonus, and being able to just camp out there and hang out and have it be just like a good old-fashioned hangout was super fun. So did I waste a barn find on this race? No way. I loved this race. I'm super happy with where the bike is at, and it was super fun. And now I just want to go challenge myself on this bike in different places. My buddies and I have a planned trip to Moab coming up. We also have a family trip to the sand dunes planned, and I'm going to take this thing and see how it does in those areas. So all in all, super fun race. I couldn't be more happy with how it turned out. On the way home, took the family through Death Valley. We spent some extra time there, and it was just an awesome trip. So hope you stick around. I definitely will do best and worst mods video of the Triumph, and I will post videos of the sand dunes and Moab as I get to it. So if this content is fun for you or helpful in any way, please subscribe. It's super fun to make this kind of content and to take you guys along for the ride. So hope to see you in the next one.